And so our conviction is that today the marketing imperative is about managing consumer conversations about brands. So really, very simply, making sure more people say good things about your product than bad things. Now you can say, oh my God, it's really, really simple. It is. But it's very, very powerful. Because you only need a few more people saying good things or a few less people saying bad things to get these kinds of statistics. We work with the London School of Economics on one project and Bain Consulting on another. And the statistics that come out are these kinds of summaries, which is brands with the most recommendation in that category, right? They will grow 4 times faster than the category average. It's kind of intuitively obvious, but it's staggering if you think about it. It doesn't mean you've got to be the biggest. It says the one with the most recommendations. It's about momentum. It's about people saying the right thing. Increasing recommendation, they discovered, by only 12 points. Now, 12 points is not immaterial, but it's not so impossible that you can't do it. Doubles the rate of growth of sales from all these studies that showed Bain. So we have a lot of studies behind this, as you might imagine, but these are the kind of key points that come out. So I think what we concluded is that the brand communication we must create as advertisers and marketers must embrace this much wider world and must influence the consumer conversation, because it kind of means no longer can we hope and believe that when someone sees a press ad, it turns over, it really had an effect. Because the days when it had an effect were the days when they received how many marketing messages a day? 20, 40, 100, I don't know, not very many. And the choice of TV channels in most countries was very limited. So you got rating scores of 20, 30% of the population watching a show. That is extraordinarily rare these days in any country in the world we operate in. What we now see is much lower ratings and much higher levels of consumer impact by commercial messaging. You get an SMS as you walk past McDonald's. You see things online. You see many more bus sides or advertising hoardings. And even if you're watching television, you're clicking channels and seeing many more things. So you're getting impacted much more than me. So what do I mean about this conversation-changing, contagious idea we've talked about? Because it's a choice of language. I don't care if you don't like the choice of language, use your own, but it's really to try and dramatize the point I'm making. So really the point of our business, we think, is what's the conversation going on out there? What do you want the conversation to be? And our job is to create an exciting little, what we call contagious idea that people then want to talk about. If you think about the example I showed you already, the Cadbury cream egg, the idea of the egg trying to kill itself, trying to get the goo out, is a fabulous little contagious idea, because what happened? People saw those, and immediately in the room when you present it, the client's going to write as many scripts as the agency guys do. What about? Fantastic. And then you put it on air, and immediately consumers say, hey, I can do that. And on YouTube, loads and loads of films, loads of stuff happening that brings it to life. And suddenly you've got co-creation, you've got people getting a reward from the brand, showing each other your branded message. Those TV ads hardly ran. They ran pretty much one, there were 21 of them. When you saw one, you went online and saw a little. And of course the last one, the finale, was an absolute emotional kind of goodbye. It's a reward to the consumer for all the things they've had involved with. So that's Cadbury. Look at HP, global brand. What was the conversation on laptops? The conversation on laptops when Dell was really successful. Remember the days when Dell was really successful? Sorry, Michael, but they're not so successful these days. The days when they were really successful were the days when they thought that actually laptops were about the ability to produce the commodity quicker and cheaper. So you got exactly what you want at the right price at the right time. So they looked at a process and supply chain discussion. That was how they sold laptops. And they were right at the time. That this dull grey box, what we all carried around, and suddenly a dull grey thing, when you lost, and most people these days don't smoke, so their identity is no longer the cigarettes on the table. Nowadays the cell phone plays a big part of this. But a lot of people carry the identity under their arm. So the identity of the laptop said more about them than maybe it did in the days when Dell was back. A simple thought, a very simple thought, the computer is personal again. Suddenly, yeah, it's my life. My life is on this stuff. If you lost your laptop, how much of a loss is it for you? It's pretty staggering. I mean, what do I do? I've left a laptop on a plane before when I was too young to remember to pick it up, and it's a catastrophe. Absolute catastrophe.